Good day everyone, I'm Anna Marie Ambelolong. Today I will be discussing about the Chapter 3 assessment tools from objective test up to completion test. So when we say assessment tools, it is a teacher-made test. It refers to the wide variety of methods or tools that educators use to evaluate the learning progress, skills acquisition, or educational needs of students. Assessment is equally significant for students as it enables them to check their understanding of the subject, to be aware of their progress, and use that awareness to adjust and advance their learning. Assessment is an integral part of teaching learning process as it determines whether the goals of education are being achieved or not. So when we say assessment, it helps the teacher to know if his or her student achieve uh, the learnings. Assessment is often categorized as either objective or subjective test. So when we say objective test, is a way of examining in which a questions asked has a single correct answer, or it consists of a set of items or questions that have a specific correct answer. No interpretation, no judgment, no personal impressions are involved in scoring. Objective test has two main types: recall type and recognition type. When recall type, when we say recall type, it has two categories also. First is the simple recall, and second is the completion test. Simple recall test is here somewhat arbitrarily defined as one in which each item appears as a direct question, a stimulus word or praise, or a specific direction. The response must be recalled by the pupil from his past experiences rather than merely identified from a list of suggested answers supplied by the teacher. The typical response to the simple recall item is short, preferable a single word or phrase. So here are the example of simple recall test. So we have four. So first is, how many orange can one buy for 35 cents when orange costs 7 cents each? Second, 8 is what percent of 64? Third, for each event below, give the country, date, and person with whom you associate it. The fourth question, what is the chemical name of vinegar? So that are the example of simple recall test. So there is also the advantages, limitations, and rules and suggestion for constructing the simple recall test. So first is the advantages. So we have 9 advantages in constructing. So first is, this type of test is particularly valuable in mathematics and the physical sciences, where the stimulus appears in the form of a problem requiring computation. Second, as it needs a very brief answer, does not result in bringing boredom and fatigue. Third, is it easy to construct. The fourth, it almost completely eliminates guessing as a factor in unreliability, and thus minimizes one of the most common criticism of objective tests. Fifth, thus items are sufficiently reliable and highly valid. 7. It can serve the diagnostic purposes. 8. Quiet comprehension in covering the syllabus and testing of the realization of the stipulated objectives. The last, the scoring and interpretation of the responses of the students do not pose any problems. So that are the advantages. So Let's proceed to the limitations. So in limitations, we have 5. First, such item tests only the factual things and memory, the power of understanding, reasoning, application, interpretation, and etc. cannot be tested through these questions. Second, preparation of such items demand great skills and experience on the part of the paper setter. Third, it is costly in terms of time and labor for its preparation. Fourth, administration of such tests may also create so many disciplinary and administrative problems. The mode of responses of questions may also drift the students towards speaking of unfair means. And the last is, if not properly constructed, scoring can be subject. Rules and suggestions for construction of simple recall test. The simple recall is one of the most familiar test forms and among the easiest to prepare. The main problem is how to phrase the test situation so that they will call forth responses of a higher intellectual level than Mary wrote, memory, and so that they can be scored with a minimum of expenditure of time and effort. So we have 5 rules and suggestions. The test item should be so worded that the responses is as brief as possible, preferable a single word, number, symbol, or very brief phrase. This will objectify and facilitate scoring. Second, the direct question form is usually preferable to the statement form. Third, the blanks provided for the responses should be in a column, preferable at the right of the items. This arrangement facilitates scoring and is more convenient for the pupil. Fourth, the question should be so worded that there is only one correct response. Whenever this is impossible, all acceptable answers should be included in the scoring key. The last is, make a minimum use of textbook language in wording the questions. So that is about the sample recall test. So we proceed now to the completion type test, or what we call fill in the blanks. So the completion test may be defined as a series of sentences in which certain important words or phrases have been omitted and blanks submitted for the pupil to fill in. A sentence may contain a simple blank, or it may contain 2 or more blanks. The sentences in the test may be disconnected or they may be organized into a paragraph. So we have here the example of completion type test. So we have 3. So first is, there is more perspiration in the blank. Second, the blank is obtained by dividing the blank. Third, the first performance test of intelligence was prepared by blank. So that are the examples of completion type test. So we proceed to its advantages and limitation, also the rules and suggestions for constructing this completion type test. So in advantages, we have 4. So first is, completion type items are easy to construct. Such items are popular and widely used. The pupils are quite familiar with such items. Third, there is no scope of guessing work, and as such they are more reliable. The fourth, such items can be measure both knowledge and comprehension or understanding of the subject's matter, while simple recall type items can measure, well, the knowledge and aspect only. So we have limitations. We have 4 limitations in completion type test. First, such items cannot measure higher levels of objective like application, analysis, synthesis, or evaluation. Second, such items fail to test the reasoning power, power to explain, discriminate, illustrate, or estimate. Third, their questions are mostly based on memory. Fourth, scoring is a bit more laborious as the blanks are scattered here and there. So that is the limitations. So we proceed to rules and suggestions for constructions of completion type test. We have 10. First, avoid vague statements and see that there is a definite answer to the item. Second, omit the keywords and phrases. Don't omit trivial details as in the items. Third, don't omit too many keywords. This will make the questions ambiguous and there may be many possible answers. Fourth, don't omit a part of the sentence. A single word, a date, a number, and the best phrase may be omitted. Fifth, avoid giving gaps at the beginning of the items. 6. See that the items do not contain any clue. Example, paper boats are made of blank. 7. Make the blanks of uniform length. 8. Avoid using statements directly from the text. It would encourage rote memory than understanding. 9. Prepare a scoring key containing correct answers. The last, each blank should be given equal credit marks. So, thank you for listening. That's all for my discussions.